On Osrc News at 7, Ondo State Executive Council further decisions to make life more abundant for citizens. Government dismisses alleged relocation of Ondo school shuttle buses. Health experts caution Nigerians against indiscriminate consumption of bushmeat to avoid monkeypox diseases. And from the foreign scene, United States to beef up Ukrainian forces as Russia takes more pound of flesh. Good evening and welcome on the news. I am Olatomiwa Donald Falayi. Ondo State Executive Council says safety measures will no longer be compromised in setting up of petrol and gas stations in the state. The decision was among other resolutions finalized at the council's weekly meeting, presided over by Governor Olorunrotimi Akeredolu. The council also gave deadline to public servants who are yet to be fully vaccinated to comply on or before Wednesday next week. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole has details.
The Ondo State Executive Council says unvaccinated public servants have on or before Wednesday, 8th of June 2022 to take COVID-19 jab or denied entry into their workplaces. The decision was reached at the weekly council meeting presided over by Governor Olunrotimi Akeredolu. Special advisor to the governor on health, Professor Francis Faduyile, said only 16% of eligible population in Ondo State have been fully vaccinated and about 30% partially vaccinated. He urged residents to keep their environment clean against the Lassa fever infection.
The council believes that every person in Ondo State should be fully vaccinated. The state government has directed its searchlight on civil servants in Ondo State, in our ministries, departments and agencies, and has directed that every civil servant who works in these facilities must produce a certificate to show that they have received the 2 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine as well as the booster doses.
The Commissioner for Infrastructure, Lands and Housing, Mr. Raimi Aminu, said council commended the presentation of certificate of occupancy to pioneer beneficiaries under the Home Ownership Charter of Ondo State, HOCOS scheme.
The EXCO passed a resolution that before you can get your building plan, building approval, you must obtain your title document, be you CFO, be you conveyance, or whatsoever. Anything short of that, building approval will no longer be granted in Ondo State. And you cannot be complaining again because to get your CFO is within shortest days. In a bid to end indiscriminate floating of petrol and gas stations, Council approved the implementation of safety measures recommended by the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development.
The Ministry went into action, so we have undergone the inventory, which was reported back to the Council, and graciously the Council approved the inventory of all filling stations and gas stations throughout the state.
The Commissioner for Regional Integration and Diaspora Relations, Mrs. Bamidele Ademola Olateju, reiterated Governor Akeredolu's administration commitment to prioritize the well-being of residents. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
The controversy over the state of school shuttle buses in Ondo State has been described as needless, as government insisted that none was taken out of all designated council areas. Special advisor to Governor Olorunrotimi Akeredolu on transport, Mr. Toby Ogunleye, who refuted the insinuation in some quarters that the buses have been taken to Imo State by the wife of the governor, Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu. Mr. Ogunleye at a media chat appealed to Nigerians, particularly politicians, to desist from making false claims on social media. Osrc reporter Zimo Ibiemi was at the press briefing, and the report is presented from our studios.
These are some of the school shuttle buses operating in Ondo State. For Akure, the state capital, 21 of the buses were allocated for public school children, and with the count as conducted by the special advisor, Toby Ogunleye, none is missing. This enumeration became necessary as spurious allegations are being made on social media concerning the state and whereabouts of the shuttle buses.
I want to say categorically,
Mr. Ogunleye, who spoke with a cross-section of journalists on the matter, explained that the school shuttle scheme was stopped due to the outbreak of coronavirus at that time. He wondered the source of the information by those claiming that the buses have been taken to Imo State.
it is a statement of fact that we cannot deny that in year 2020, the entire globe was ravaged with a pandemic called COVID-19 that brought the entire world into our knees. All sectors were affected. The shuttle buses operation of Ondo State Ministry of Transport was never spared. We have been following a lot of lies on the social medias. I want to say categorically, the buses are there.
Mr. Ogunleye said except for the 4 buses burnt during the EndSARS protest in Okitipupa, the rest are intact. Ondo State has a total of 90 shuttle buses distributed among major towns such as Ondo City 14, Owo 10, Ikari-Akoko 8, Idonre 7, and Ile-Oluji 3. Other towns are Okeigbo 2, Bolorunduro 2, Igbokoda 3, Irele 5, Okiagbe 4, Ore 4, and Araromiobo 3.
With the current prevailing cost of diesel, it cannot be sustained. From 256 or 255 naira per liter, now 750 to 900, at times 1,000. We need to come together. As parents, we are going to come up with a more decisive resolution that will be useful for the return of the shuttle buses.
The special advisor asked anyone with evidence of the vehicle's relocation to Imo State to prove to the world.
The Universal Basic Education Commission (UBEC) has disclosed that it would construct 6 smart schools in the 6 geopolitical zones to the tune of 3.6 billion naira. This was disclosed in a statement signed by the UBEC's head of public relations, David Ape. According to the statement, the management of the commission also commenced discrete efforts to ensure the full implementation of e-learning programs in basic education across the country, following the challenges occasioned in the subsector by the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown and closure of schools. Chairman of the Southern Nigeria Governors Forum and Ondo State Governor Arakun SAN has been appointed the Chairman of Security and Compliance for the All Progressives Congress Special Convention for Presidential Primary. Governor Akeredolu's name was announced yesterday evening in a statement signed by the National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Barrister Felix Moka. The party's special convention is built to hold at the Eagle Square, Abuja on June 6 and 7, 2022. And as the ruling All Progressives Congress APC prepares for its special convention for presidential primary, the chairman of the Southern Nigeria Governors Forum and Ondo State Governor, Arakun Akeredolu, has charged the party to work hard to retain power by rotating the presidency to the south. Governor Akeredolu, who doubles as the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum, was announced as the chairman of Security and Compliance for the party's special convention. In a message on his social media handle, the governor re-echoed the position of his colleagues in the Southern Nigeria Governors Forum that power should be rotated to the south. Governor Akeredolu noted that the APC must be ready to rotate power so as to retain power, adding that to retain power, the party must rotate to the south. Meanwhile, no fewer than 9 northern governors have called on their colleagues to back the All Progressives Congress APC to pick the presidential candidate from the southern extraction. The latest development was at variance with certain governors who pushed for a northern standard bearer who will be able to match up with the People's Democratic Party's candidate. The 9th governor contended that ensuring a southern presidency would be in the interest of national cohesion and social justice, adding that it would amount to injustice if the North retains for another 8 years after President Buhari's tenure. They dismissed the opinion that only a northern candidate will headway with the presidential ambition. As preparation peak for the APC convention to unfold the ruling party's standard bearer for the 2023 polls, the desire of the incumbent Muhammadu Buhari to pick a successor has stirred comments from Nigerians. President Buhari, who seems to be encouraged by the popular saying that success without a successor is a failure, told the APC governors at a meeting some days ago that he should be allowed to call the shots. Joy Payo samples public perception about the president's wish list to the governors.
At a meeting with the APC governors on who brandishes the flag of the party in the 2023 general election at the State House in Abuja, the president declared, in a few days, the party will be holding its convention, during which primaries would take place to pick the presidential flag bearer for the 2023 general elections. This is a very significant process, and its outcome should prove to the world the positive quality of the APC regarding democratic principles, culture, as well as leadership. The president said the objective of the party to clinch victory through a credible candidate who would give the Nigerian masses a sense of belonging and confidence even before the elections must not be compromised. Referring to governors' freedom to choose their successors, the president emphasized, I wish to solicit the reciprocity and support of the governors and other stakeholders in picking my successor, who would fly the flag of our party for election into the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2023. The president's pronouncements have set tongues wagging. While some believe it is undemocratic, others say democratic process should be allowed to thrive.
It's very discouraging, like a president telling us like he wants to choose somebody else, and we say we are in democracy, so they should allow us like choose and vote for somebody that we feel like and that we think it is worthwhile to be in the position.
By consultation, he may come out with somebody good, but for me, democracy is all about voting, choosing who to represent you, not a single person choosing who to represent us.
If already have somebody in mind now, that means what is the future for the youth? Because the youth hold the future.
Generally, Buhari is not supposed to contest anything or to choose anything because he have let all Nigerians down.
Buhari government have a lot of flaws which people don't condone. So I don't think people will be happy enough for the outgoing president to select someone that will represent him, because he can't select someone out of his own likeness. He will actually select someone that he sees that is in line with his modus operandi.
As it is now, whoever will strike the right chord in President Buhari is still in the realm of guess, amid deadlock negotiations between the president and the state's governors, who are not too inclined to concede a blank check to President Buhari to write the name of preferred candidates and barring last-minute change. The lead on the APC presidential standard bearer will be blown open latest by Tuesday next week. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
We'll bring you more stories after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Still Osrc News at 7. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook Osrc TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. Taking more stories now to health. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) says 21 cases of monkeypox from 9 states and the FCT have been recorded in the last 5 years. 15 incidents were captured as of April 30, 2022, while the other 6 were reported between that time and May 29, with 1 fatality. In this report, Joy Pius again takes a look at the outbreak of monkeypox, its symptoms and prevention.
Caused by the West African clade monkeypox virus, the disease was first identified in humans in 1970 in the Democratic Republic of Congo in a 9-month-old boy, in a region where smallpox had been eliminated in 1968. Since then, most cases have been reported from rural rainforest regions of the Congo Basin, and human cases have increasingly been reported from across Central and West Africa. In Nigeria, 9 states have witnessed outbreak of the virus. Adamawa has had 5 cases, Lagos 4, Bayelsa 2, Delta 2, Cross River 2, FCT 2, Kano 2, Imo 1, and Rivers 1. In all of these, 1 death has been reported. Notwithstanding the deadly nature of the disease, many are oblivious of its surge.
They say monkeypox. I heard it before. One of my medical persons says that it's in the state, but I don't know much about that.
Fẹ́ni Ondo state o, débi tó pé Àkúrẹ́ gan rárá àti Ẹ̀fẹ́ rárá, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó wọ ọ̀dọ̀ wa o. Ní tó bá dẹ̀ ní àwọn tó bá ní nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, kán tètè jẹ́ káwọn èèyàn mọ̀, so that wọ́n á lè tè mọ̀ bó ṣe máa sá fún wọn, àbí kán isolate wọn.
Kan yẹn á so sí ara, á so gidigidi sí ara. Mi wá lè sọ bóyá yẹn náà pè ní monkey.
A molecular scientist at the Unimed Teaching Hospital, Akure, Mr. Joseph Olawale, explained the symptoms of monkeypox and preventive measures.
There's a particular sign of illness that first begin. Number 1, then the affected fellow will feel fever. The part of the body and joint will be paining. Then back ache will also involve. That is one of the signs. There will be an headache, complaint of headache, then muscle ache. When you discover someone has this type of virus disease, what we do is that you have to prevent yourself of coming in contact, prevent direct contact. When you prevent yourself from direct contact, then you are safe. Then number 2, avoid using the article that the affected person has used. When the symptoms and sign is detected in a particular client, so it is advisable to come to clinic where it can be properly managed.
The Permanent Secretary, Ondo State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Francis Akombiemo, said although there have been no reports of a disease in Ondo State, health workers have been put on high alert to address a possible occurrence and hinted of plans to sensitize the people on the virus.
As far as the Ondo State government is concerned, all the health workers have been put on alert to look out for any suspected cases, because those cases, the first thing to do is what we call high index of suspicion. You must see any case that have such skin rashes as a suspected case of monkeypox until proven otherwise. We have also begun to educate them on the signs and symptoms of this disease, what they need to do to protect themselves.
As the virus continues to spread to other parts of the world, Nigeria Center for Disease Control has urged healthcare workers to maintain a high index of suspicion for monkeypox and report any suspected case to the relevant state epidemiology team for prompt intervention. Joy Pius, OSRC News.
Candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the February 26 Akure North and South Federal Constituency by-election, Olumuyiwa Adu, has been given 3 days to present his case before Justice Obadigu-led tribunal sitting in Akure, the Ondo State capital. With this deadline, Adu is therefore expected to open his case on June 6 and close June 8. The 3-man tribunal fixed the date after the counsel to the petitioner, Olumide Ogidon, demanded 3 days to present his case with 15 witnesses, adding that he had formulated issues for the determination of the case. The first and second respondent, Mayo Kwalade and the All Progressives Congress APC, each requested 2 days to prosecute their cases, prompting the tribunal to fix 13, 14, 15 and 16th June to present and close their cases. Their counsel, Olawale Abiola and Bankole Alabi, said they will deploy 20 witnesses and 42 certified public documents to prosecute their case, while the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has 1 day to present its case. Following the council's agreement, Chairman of the tribunal, Justice Obadigo, adjourned sitting till June 6, 7 and 8 for the petitioner to open and close his case. The petitioner, Lumuyiwadu of the PDP, is praying that the tribunal to declare him winner of the February 26 Akure North and South Federal Constituency by-election or cancel the poll. But counsel to Alade and APC urged the tribunal to dismiss the petition for incompetence and fundamentally defective. Two suspected herdsmen alleged of killing a farmer in Ajowa area of Akoko last year have been arraigned before the Ondo State High Court, sitting in Akure, the state capital. 20-year-old Babuga Malam and 18-year-old Mano Baka were said to have hacked to death Adedayo Festus on his farm at Ajowa in Akoko Northwest local government area on February 5, 2022. The suspects were arraigned on 2 counts of conspiracy to murder and murder of the farmer, the offences contrary to and punishable under Section 324 of the Criminal Code Law Cap 37 laws of Ondo State 2006. And the statement of offence was read to the defendants. They pleaded not guilty to the charges in the case between them and the state. The prosecuting counsel, Adediwura Akimbosede, told the court that a witness was not present in court and therefore prayed for the adjournment of the case. Counsel to the defendant, Obafemi Bawa, said the suspects, who were minors at the time of the offense, could not have had the courage to kill as alleged.
Their plea had been taken and they pleaded not guilty. So it is for the state now to assemble their witnesses in the next adjourned date for them to establish their matter or their case against the defendant. As at the time they were alleged to have committed the offense, they have not attained the age of 18 years. You can see that they look more of a minor. They look more of a minor, but we have not gotten to that stage. By the time we get there, then we will address the court on that note.
Adjourned the case till August the 2nd for hearing. Following the ban and enforcement of Commercial Motorcycle Riders Union, popularly called Okada, has sued the Lagos State government before the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos. The union, under the umbrella of the Motorcycle Transport Union of Nigeria, MTUN, and others in the suit, are praying for a declaration that the ban on Okada is illegal, unlawful, and unconstitutional. The applicants prayed the court for a declaration that the purported proposed ban of the commercial motorcycle transportation in Lagos State by governor, without hearing from the operators whose rights are affected or likely to be affected, is a violation of the constitutional rights of the applicants. They prayed the government to restrict Okada operations on major highways to approved areas rather than banning their operations. The Nigerian Union of Journalists, Osun State Council, has insisted on the redeployment of the State Commissioner of Police, Wale Olokode, following attack on some protesters in Osogbo on Tuesday. Armed police from Dugbe Police Division had stormed Olaya Junction in Osogbo, the state's capital, and fired bullets and canisters at journalists and some youth protesting extrajudicial killing of one Abiola Folabi in Osogbo in April this year by the police. During the attack, a journalist, Toba Adedeji, and a student whose identity was not yet known were shot. Kwara State Government and the State Police Command have resolved to beef up security around Onyi Baptist High School, Ijago, as it's expected to resume academic activities on Friday. The school was closed down by the state government on February 3, 2022, following a crisis between Muslim and Christian parents who besieged the school to defend their respective faith on the controversy that greeted the wearing of hijab by female students in the school. No fewer than 150 final year students of the senior secondary school who were expected to sit for the West Africa School examination have been affected by the closure. No fewer than 44 bandits were said to have been killed in a face-off between two rival bandits groups in Shinkafi local government area of Zamfara state. An indigene of Shinkafi town, Musa Suleiman, told newsmen the fight broke out between two rival groups near Maniya village. Suleiman said the two groups engaged in a fight as a result of the killings of the relatives of one of the rival groups' members who were on their way to Kano for medical treatment. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed at least 9 agreements and memoranda of understanding with the Spanish government in Madrid, Spain. According to a statement by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, the agreements included treaty on mutual legal assistance in criminal matters, economic and commercial operation. Others were on sport, health, and science and innovation. In a meeting with his Spanish counterpart, President Pedro Sanchez, Buhari said his country looked forward to increasing bilateral relations between both nations. And to the foreign scene. Final preparations are underway in Britain for Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee. Tens of thousands are expected to the celebration to mark 70 years since she ascended the throne. Joy Pius looks back at the popularity of Britain's longest-serving monarch.
Queen Elizabeth looms large over the British colony. Seemingly every streets are washed with flags and bunting. For weeks, soldiers from household cavalry tasked with guarding the monarch have been rehearsing their steps. The Platinum Jubilee is as much a celebration of British tradition as it is 96-year-old Queen Elizabeth's long reign. But in the 70 years since she became queen, her coronation a year later, the queen and her country have profoundly changed. Back then, many of Europe's cities were scarred by the horrors of the Second World War, and the British Empire that once ruled a third of the world was melting away. Queen Elizabeth would help shape Britain's new historic purpose, not as a queen of an empire, but of a commonwealth of multinational, multiracial states, and also as a head of a royal family that would, in the coming years, become the focus of intense media attention. As the family grew, so did the challenges. The death of Princess Diana in a car crash in 1997 provoked public anger that the Queen wasn't publicly mourning her death while millions were, forcing her to break protocol and join the crowds. More recently, the royals have faced intense criticism over their handling of racism allegations by the Queen's grandson, Prince Harry, and wife, Meghan, while sexual assault claims against Prince Andrew forced Queen Elizabeth to strip her son, who was touted as her favorite child, of his royal titles. Over the decades, presidents and prime ministers have been and gone, some of the most iconic figures of the past century. Queen Elizabeth consistently doing her duty.
I think she's played very well exactly the role of a constitutional monarch. She's the most charismatic, sort of photographed, most famous woman in the world, but she's also very enigmatic. We hardly know her, and I think being able to stay above politics but seen as relevant and respected has been really important.
Here, in the twilight of Queen Elizabeth's reign, a gentle reduction of royal duties. After the death of her husband of 73 years, Prince Philip, in the midst of the pandemic, a time when Queen Elizabeth's word to the nation have scarcely mattered more.
We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. we will meet again.
Even as more people question the role and the purpose of a royal family in a modern democracy, there is something of a coziness, of familiarity to her long reign and genuine public affection for a woman and a queen who ties past and present generation together. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
To end the news tonight, let's take another look at the major stories. Ondo State Executive Council has furthered critical decisions to make life more abundant for citizens. Following insinuations doing rounds on relocation of Ondo school shuttle buses to Imo State's Governor Akeredolu's aide on transport, Tobi Ogunleye has debunked claim. As precautionary measures, health experts have warned Nigerians indiscriminate consumption of bushmeat to avoid monkeypox diseases. And the United States has agreed to supply Ukrainian forces with advanced rockets to halt Russian invasion. And that ends the news tonight. Thanks for watching. Good evening.